Hey guys, it is Candace Owens, the founder of socialautopsy.com. We have gotten so many comments, questions, and concerns written in about our database from some of the articles that ran about it, as well as some of the social media work we've been doing trying to spread the word, and we figured, why not get it all in one spot and do a live FAQ? I guess it's technically not live, but you know what I mean. How long do profiles last? Good question. Profiles last for 365 days. After a 1-year span, if the user that has been submitted hasn't done anything else, hasn't really said anything that's bad, we totally believe in forgiveness and second chances, and we will drop their name from our database forever. This next question is very alarming to me. People keep writing in asking us, how is this legal? This worries me because I think people are actually shocked that the internet is public. That's the best way that I can answer this question. The internet is public. We are not hacking into your computers or breaking into your houses and stealing hard drives. You guys are putting all this information out there and we are just aggregating it. So it's legal because if I can do a Google search and find out all this information, if I want to put it somewhere else, that's all completely fair use. I hope that answers your question. This was a comment from Erin from Connecticut. She said, the site this woman created actually can be used to bully if used improperly. Not that great. Thank you, Erin, but that is actually not correct. So 2 things. The first is that we don't allow any commenting on our database because we do not want to foster any of the bullying that we are trying to rid the internet of. The second really important factor is that we do not allow people to search by keyword, meaning you can't go to our database and plug in Beyonce and then look at all the comments that were written regarding Beyonce and consider yourself a vigilante and trying to find those people and doing things to them. You also can't search our database for, homophobia and then think that it's going to pull all of the comments that were written that were homophobic. It just doesn't work like that. You have to search our database by name, meaning that you have to actually know who you are looking for, which significantly decreases the chance that anyone can abuse our database and use it for bullying. What if somebody creates a fake Facebook on profile until the screenshots that are being submitted aren't real? That is a fair question. I think that the most obvious way to answer that is just to say, if somebody creates a fake Facebook profile pretending to be you, you've got a bigger problem than social autopsy, right? Your first problem is that someone has created a fake profile pretending to be you, which we have seen before. Obviously, we all know what a catfish is in this generation. We're a secondhand problem and not one that's really that much of a threat. We allow you to write to us, and we will investigate every claim if someone is purporting to be you. And no matter what, in 365 days, it completely wipes from our database. So again, your focus should be on the fact that somebody is pretending to be you. We are not the first database that allows people to create user profiles. I could go on Facebook right now and say I'm Barack Obama. We're not reinventing the wheel here, and some of the questions that we're getting make it sound like, oh my God, what if someone makes a fake profile? You can do that on Twitter, you can do that on Instagram, you can do that on Facebook, so we're not exactly your biggest issue. With that said, if we do investigate and we are able to identify, obviously we do pull user information when things are submitted, that somebody did falsify a profile. What we will then do is create a profile for that person, since it is technically their words, and those profiles will never be removed from our database. The 365-day clause does not apply to anybody that has falsified any screenshots. So keep it honest. What about minors? We are seeing a lot of people that are showing concern for minors, and I guess this is sort of a two-pronged approach, which is first, you guys should be visiting the terms of service on Facebook and on Twitter because they thoroughly explain what it means to be a minor and what you sign up and what you agree for when you check that box and agree to their terms of usage. Pretty much, if you are a minor, you are not excluded from anything if you are posting in a public place saying awful things. With that said, we stand by the fact that we think the best time to be on our database is when you are a minor, because that's exactly what we're trying to do. We are trying to affect their, conscious when they're young, so they know to use the internet more responsibly when they're older. There's no harm, no foul really if you're a minor, right? You have this profile for 365 days, you're not applying to college, you're not, going out for a job. It doesn't do anything to affect your livelihood in any way. So we think that that's really honestly the best time for people to learn. And by the way, we don't want to exclude minors, because minors are the ones that are killing themselves because of what they're reading online, right? We're seeing 10-year-olds, 11-years, 12-year-olds that are committing suicide. Suicides are on the rise for kids that are really young, and it's because no one's been able to get a hand on the bullying, and they, don't necessarily have the tools at that age to know how to cope with it. So that's actually where we are trying to make the most change. This is a comment. I feel that 1 year is harsh for minors. They are still learning. Okay, so you guys that keep saying this are kind of what is exactly wrong with the internet today. Your child should not be given the internet to learn. They shouldn't be trying out the internet, and trying out saying bad words on the internet. You should be sitting down having conversations with them about how serious the internet is. We say that the internet, technology, it's just like giving somebody a gun. You can kill yourself with it, or you can kill somebody else with it. And that is exactly what we are seeing that is happening. And these are the kinds of conversations, the serious tone of the conversations that we want adults to start having with their children. And if these conversations are had because we exist, then great. We don't want minors to be using the internet to learn. I mean, that is exactly why we're seeing so much damage being done on the internet right now. All of that said, it's very important to know, to kind of calm you guys all down, that the overwhelming majority of the submissions that we had to date are not minors. They are coming from adults. They are coming from people that are above the age of 30 even. So what we're gonna see when we launch, what you guys will be able, to notice in terms of the trends, is that this database is not filled with minors. So it's nothing that you really need to be concerned about. I am concerned about the legal and criminal implications of posting screenshots that should normally be investigated through schools and the police with due process. That was from Patricia. Patricia, that comment or question sort of confused me. I don't know why we're talking about due process. We are not submitting these comments, to the police and saying that people should be tried. We're not involved in the due process at all. We are just an archive. If that is your concern should be why these words are being said on the internet at all, not why a secondhand database is collecting the data based off of what's shared. Again, we think that questions like that sort of reveal to us the disconnect that people have between the internet and the words that are being said on the internet versus real life, and it's it's a little bit alarming. But yeah, that question altogether, we have nothing to do with legalities and due process of law, and we are not working with police to make sure people who say bad things get arrested. So it's wrong database, I think. This next one came from a journalist. John from the Stanford Advocate says, so Owens and her team will serve as judge and jury. Yes, John. That's sort of how it works when you have any company. Mark Zuckerberg and his team play judge and jury when somebody flags something as inappropriate and they decide whether or not they think it's inappropriate. So yes, from our, for our team, we decide what we think meets the standards of harsh language. That's just what it means, to own a company. You get to decide these things. Twitter decides what's appropriate, what can be said, what can't be said on their database, and Instagram decides what's appropriate, what can and what cannot be said on their database. So we, again, are not reinventing the wheel here. We are deciding what is the language that we consider worthy of adding to our database. With that said, we are definitely not acting as the jury. We do not recommend these people get fired or recommend that boyfriends break up with their girlfriends. We are just literally an archive of somebody's words. What people, deduce from that or induce from that, employers, universities, that is completely up to them, and we think that they have the right to do that. How do you think it is a good thing and a just thing to try to ruin someone's career and take away their livelihood over words that are typed on social media? Again, that question terrifies me. There is just such a gap. People think that the internet is like a video game. that they can go home and say whatever they want over social media and then get back to real life, which is why he's using this word livelihood. That is not the case. You are affecting somebody's livelihood with your words. When you log on the internet and you tell someone that they are disgusting, that they are ugly, that they don't deserve to live, that they are fat, you are affecting that person's livelihood. You are making that person sad. You're making that person depressed. The internet is a real thing, and just because you're typing it does not make your words any less real. What you type on the internet is a part of your livelihood, and we stand by that and we stand firm on that. Comment here that says, people need to toughen up. Words from an idiot mean nothing. I've been called names on here. I've been threatened. You take that garbage with a grain of salt. I guess all I am going to say to that is people had that perspective. It would be a really tough time to be a child. Technology is just increasing exponentially every decade, and to say that as human beings we just have to be able to deal with it, and the different forms of bullying that can come, the things that people say to them, we don't think it's right. I disagree with your comment entirely. No is my response to that. And lastly, I will be filing an extortion claim with Ripoff Report this evening. You'll be off to a great start with your new database, fags. Nice. Good luck. And most importantly, we definitely think that you should look up the word extortion before you do that. You guys have a great day and stay up to date on social autopsy updates. And be nice. Just be nice on the internet. It's really easy. You don't have to worry about this if you're just nice.